Hey guys, Zach here. I know it's called football, and here we are again. Another defeat. That's three defeats in a row. This is the first time in Arsenal's Premier League history that they've lost three games in a row, twice in one season. So there's another record for Mikel Arteta to have under his belt. 0 points out of nine in the past three games. We've lost four in five, and we've scored two goals. It's just dreadful. It's absolutely horrendous. The form that Arsenal are in, the way they're playing, there's nothing there. It's just it's hollow. Um, there's no grit, there's no drive, there's no fight in these players, and maybe with the exception of a burst of energy in the last 10 minutes of the past three games, it hasn't been anywhere near enough for me to even move from my seat. When I'm watching these past three games, I've been slumped over, hoodie up, arms folded. Even the Odegaard goal that we scored against Brighton. What's the reason for me to get up and celebrate? Is anybody celebrating that goal? That we've scored a goal. We're 2-0 down. We've scored a goal. 2 minutes to go. It wasn't enough to make me move. I didn't budge, and it was a deflected goal anyway. And dude, we've scored one goal in the past three games, and it was a deflected goal. So we talk about creativity and the threat that we have. Players like Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka, Emile Smith Rowe, Gabriel Martinelli, all of these players that we want to see playing together. It's the first time we've seen these players on the pitch together. Whoa, we're really cooking. Yeah, we're not cooking anything. This shit is dead, simmering, sitting cold in a pot, and that's the state that we're in right now. Just shameless football from these players and this club, this manager. So many things coming back to bite us in the ass. And when I saw this lineup, I was actually happy with the lineup. I know Lacazette is out with COVID. Obviously, I'm not happy about that. You of course hope that he's gonna be okay, and I'm sure he will be. But Arteta was forced into a change, and I would have asked for Eddie Nketiah to be starting up front, keep Martinelli on the wing, allow Bukayo Saka to stay on the wing. Obviously, Odegaard is going to be sitting in that number 10 position. Eddie Nketiah showed in the first half that what a striker can do when they actually run. Plenty of times he beat a defender to the ball, but he just doesn't have that vision, that extra something. It's just everything is missing, and this is the player that we have to replace our veteran, 33-year-old striker. Is a player who's out of contract in 2 months, who doesn't want to sign another one, who's simply not good enough on his own. Despite the fact that yes, he showed some fight today, and I thought, he at least was some sort of threat up front, Eddie Nketiah, and I don't even want to slag him off. I thought he did okay. Not that he was threatening the defense or anything like that, but at least he worked towards something. I mean, this is what the fans wanted as well. It changes to the lineup. Granted, Xhaka was back in the midfield alongside Sambi Lokonga. Nuno Tavares came back in at left back, got forward a couple times throughout the game. I thought he did pretty decent at that. He seemed to have some of his confidence back, enough to at least do a couple of tricks here and there. Wasn't really exposed defensively, but dude, I'm sorry, but this is Southampton. They're not insanely threatening moving forward. Broja obviously carries threat. James Ward-Prowse on the dead ball, maybe the best in the Premier League. Armstrong, we know, is quick, very pacey, very quick on the ball. Shane Long came in and wasted some time, like a little rat, and did nothing. And these are the players, that we've let ourselves lose to. They pulled 3 points from out under this Arsenal side from a goal that was just it was just shameless to concede that goal. And yet again, Aaron Ramsdale, whether you want to call it unlucky or not, I mean, it just seems like he gets a hand or he gets an arm on a ball and he just doesn't have the strength to keep it out. And whether you want to call that being unlucky, I don't know what it is, but Ramsdale is just an absolute shell of his former self. The Ramsdale that we saw in the beginning of the season, laughing, joking, picking the ball up after everything, looking, smiling, the enthusiasm he showed, the charisma that he was showing on the pitch It's gone. It's completely gone. There's none of that there now. The last clean sheet we had, Bert Leno was in goal. Obviously, remember that against Leicester, and everyone was dreading Leno's return. Made a fantastic save in the 90th minute to keep that clean sheet and get that win. And Ramsdale, since his little injury, his little knock, he's been nowhere near the class that we've seen in the beginning of the season. Um, and just to reiterate what I was saying, we all the changes we made in the starting lineup, and we still lost. We lost 1-0. Couldn't score a goal. Yes, Fraser Foster made some very very big saves. The save against Emil Smith Rowe, who just shanked it. The save from Martinelli in the first half, brilliant strike on the left foot from Martinelli, and it's not good enough. There's nothing good enough. And Arteta coming out and saying, we did everything we could. I can't fault the players for their performances. Then if you lose 1-0 and you can't fault the players for their performances or attitude, then who is at fault? Does anyone have an answer? Is there an answer in the universe for that question? You can't blame the players for their performance. We've lost 1-0. Who's to blame? I mean, I don't have an answer, man. And you know, we've lost Tomiyasu. Yes, he's been out a couple months. Tierney has been out now, and we've lost a defensive mid. So that's two defenders and a defensive midfielder, and we've lost all three games. So, I mean, if those are the three most important players for us to win the game, to win the games, excuse me, then so be it. But Arteta and Edu had the chance in January to go out and get at least two players. Aubameyang was leaving. Thomas Partey has his spell of injury since he's been in England. You have one midfielder to back him up in Sambi Lokonga, and we did nothing. And look at all the other teams that strengthened. Tottenham. The fact that they lost today means absolutely nothing. They brought in Bentancur, who's been fantastic. I said this in the last video. Kulusevski's been brilliant as well. 18 assists, I think, but between him, Son, and Harry Kane. And we did nothing, and we're being taken over now. Not only are we being taken over, we're being ripped down. We're in sixth place now behind Man United, behind Tottenham Hotspur. And I don't want to hear the phrase "games in hand" again for the rest of my life, because every time a team seems to have games in hand, they bottle it, they lose it, gets to their heads, and there is no performance at all from these players. They are doing nothing, if not the bare minimum, to try to scrape away a point or 3 points and try to get this team back to Champions League football, or at the least try to get them back into Europe. And I am just sick and tired of watching this team. Really, everything has capitulated from the past couple weeks. Every attacking player available was on the pitch after Pepe was substituted on, and we didn't score a goal. It's all passing sideways back, 4 passes forward, 1 pass from Odegaard, from Pepe, from Martinelli back to Gabriel or White, who just found themselves sitting above that halfway mark. And that was the entire game. That's what the game looked the entire time we had possession. And I mean, White and Gabriel don't look themselves. They don't look like they're interested in making a tackle. They look frail. They look timid. They've been having cowardly performances. Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, Odegaard, all stuck in second gear. Maybe it's a little harsh on Odegaard. I know he works hard. I'm not going to mention Martinelli. It's stuck in second gear. He's always looks a threat, but it's just he has the ball and we cross it in the box hoping for something, whether it's a driven cross on the ground or in the air. That's our threat moving forward. That's the threat that we have. There's no fluid, quick passing, and if there is, these players are trying to walk it into the goal, like we saw for so long under Arsene Wenger, where there was just players not shooting because they wanted the perfect goal. It's like they know they want to watch themselves on YouTube in 20 years, and they want to just make a perfect goal, beautiful one-touch tiki-taka passes, and it just doesn't work. It's just not working, and I don't know if this is up to the manager. This is what he wants. But it's just not working. I mean, we had, again, like I said, every single available attacking player on the pitch, and we couldn't score a goal. We could not score a goal. Emil Smith-Rowe, I hate to really keep getting on him, but, he went from scoring that volley against United, just one time hit the volley, and yeah, De Gea was on the ground rolling around, but it was a perfectly hit shot. He goes from scoring a goal like that to not even be able to hit a ball and strike it directly. And I'm sick of these Instagram footballers. I'm tired of seeing tattoos, and I don't want to see posts about we're training hard and time to recover. And but it's just all shit. It just all means nothing. Get on the pitch and talk on the pitch. Show us on the pitch what you mean. This Instagram mentality, it's just useless. I don't know anyone who's fooled by it anymore. You know me, I'm very positive. I always try to stay optimistic, but I am so sick and tired of seeing this PR bullshit after every single game. I mean, Arteta, this quote, in basketball, you have 25 shots, your opponent has one, you win 10 games out of 10. I mean, has this guy completely lost it or what? Does he know that he's the coach of a football team? I'm so lost. I just have nothing to say. I mean, I can only use so many words to criticize this team, to criticize this manager. I mean, talking about bouncing back, how important it is to bounce back, and oh, this is the opportunity to. We've had 2 games now since the Crystal Palace game to be shown as fans, for the players to show these fans what they mean. They know how much it means to us. Oh, we know we have to go here and get a result. Oh, it's so important now for the race. We don't want to finish just fourth. We're thinking about third, second, first. That's what Mikel Arteta said in his pregame press conference. I don't see a single ounce of possibility of finishing fourth, third, second, first. We're lucky if we get sixth. This game in hand we have on United, game in hand we have on Tottenham, it's going to be against Chelsea. It's going to be against United. It's going to be against West Ham or Chelsea. I mean, that's who we have coming up, Chelsea and United. So, yeah, let's say we get a result against Chelsea. We bounce back, and we're going to lose to Tottenham and United. It's just written there. We had nothing planned for I can't say that. We did have plans for January. They didn't want the player. They didn't want the 18-month loan. Vlahovic didn't want to come to Arsenal, and we had no backup. They didn't want to spend. They knew Aubameyang was leaving, and they did nothing. And it's coming back to bite us in the ass. And I mean, I'm just sick of this play style. It doesn't work. This one style of play Arteta has, hold possession. We should have just let them defend. We should have just let them attack and defend, just so we could counterattack. You have all those attacking players on the pitch. I mean, put on Holding for God's sake, and taking our wing backs off did nothing for the game. Put Holding on, let us defend, and just counterattack. I don't know what else we could have done, because just holding the ball, 77% of possession, it does nothing when you can't break these teams down. You pass it out wide, 2-3 passes out wide. Saka gives it back to Odegaard. Odegaard passes it back to Gabriel. Gabriel passes to White. White goes out wide. Martinelli gives it to Odegaard, gives it to Xhaka, back to Gabriel, back to White. It is dead football. There's nothing there at all. Two goals we've scored. 2 goals we've scored in 73 attempts. We've conceded 8 in the last 14 shots on target. Like I said before, Leno kept our last clean sheet, and Ramsdale, I mean, again, he looks a shell of his former self. He doesn't enjoy this anymore. It doesn't look like he makes a save, and all you can see in his eyes is just this. His eyes are just full of dread. I don't know what's happening to this team. I don't. It seems obviously they don't have the longevity to finish in the top 4. Perhaps they're not good enough to finish in the top 4, or is it just a matter of not having the depth? I mean, you see players like Bukayo Saka, Odegaard. These players start every single game they start. Lacazette starts every game. Martinelli, I feel like it's only a matter of time until he gets injured, or maybe Gabriel, or maybe White, and it just nothing is going our way. And I mean, this backdrop couldn't be any more depressing. I'm actually visiting home at the moment, and I didn't want to make this video. I had a series of tweets just going and rambling, and I said, like, I'm not going to make the video. I'll make these. I'll watch the game, and I'll go spend time with my family. But I just couldn't help. I just feel like vomiting all of this stuff up and just letting it all out. And again, like always, maybe no one sees this video, and it is what it is. But dude, it's something has to change. And Chelsea up next, followed by United. I mean, I'm not looking forward to games whatsoever, and honestly, I'm losing enthusiasm to even watch the game. And I've taken some days off work, to try to follow and make sure I can watch all these games. And I'm really starting to say, look, maybe I just go in, maybe I work anyway, and shit. I mean, I might even pick up an extra shift just so I don't have to watch the game. Look, that's it for me. One of the most depressing videos I've probably ever made. If you've made it this far, if you've clicked around at all, guys, I do appreciate you coming by and watching my videos. Please let me know your thoughts on the video down below, or hit me up on Twitter. That's always in the description. You can see me there bitching and moaning all day. So if you're a fan of that, please stop by my Twitter, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you when I see you.